It's the weekend, and it's time to clean up the countertop from a week's worth of use. So, thanks to the Home Depot Seeds program, I have this. It is Sapadilla, the plant-based, biodegradable, and earth-friendly all-purpose cleaner, versus the chemical cleaner that's not natural. This is concentrated, 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. So I'm doing the math. I'm going to get it down to 16 ounces of water, which means I should only need a 1/4 tablespoon of this. And then this obviously is already pre-mixed, so we'll just spray that. But I have 2 towels. And here's the coffee maker. Everything on this side is going to be the chemical, the unnatural chemical. And on this side, Sapadilla all-purpose cleaner with no fake fragrance or color. Let's see how they do. First thing you'll notice upon opening this is that it has a very citrusy odor to it, very pleasant to the nostril, and it's rather thick. It's almost mucousy in its consistency. So we're going to mix this up with some water and get it to the proper water to solution ratio and start working on the counter. Starting off with our Sapadilla. I dip the cloth in. There's a really nice spot there, so let's see what happens when we go over it. If I apply a little bit of pressure, it disappears. There's some gunk in here. Okay. And even at this very low concentration, you can still smell it, the citrusy. And let's wipe. And now let's do the other side. And we wipe. And there's a little thickness here, something. This gives off a very chemical odor, which is to be expected. Drying wise, this, or wet wise, this looks better than this. This just kind of beads up. So we're going to give it a few minutes to let it dry. After a few seconds of drying time, I cannot see the difference. This is the smelly chemical side. This is the citrus side. Feel-wise, nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. This definitely has a citrusy scent to it. And this definitely has a chemical scent to it. It seems that they both work equally well in removing all the junk that I managed to put on this counter surface over the week. In trying to decide which one, at least for cleaning countertops, to go for, this definitely has it just because odor alone. It's really good. Also, it's very concentrated. I mean, this is a 25-ounce container, and we only needed a 1/4 tablespoon in 16 ounces of water. So I still got a lot more that I could clean with this, whereas our 26-ounce bottle is limited to what's just pre-mixed in there. So I think cost-wise, this might be the winner. What? That's not good enough of a test for you? You want something with grease? How about this stovetop? We're going to divide it in half. Sapadilla gets this side. This side is going to be the Windex, and we'll see how each one does. I'll give it 1, 2 sprays of the stinky stuff, and we'll wipe with the Sapadilla. And we've divided this stovetop in half. I am done with this. I'll let it sit there. Now I get a towel so I can work this solution into it. And this is cooking grease, corn oil. So this still feels a little bit greasy. Oh, there it goes. I was going to say it felt greasy while it was wet, but now that it's dry, it went away. So let's take a look at the surface. Sapadilla continues to be slower in evaporating and just disappearing off the surface, whereas this one didn't have any problem with that. You can see this is cloudy, and it's going to have to be buffed up. If we buff it, then we see a nice finish to it. Same here. Leaves marks, but if we buff, then it does come to a shine. And again, if you get very close to it, there is a nice citrusy odor. We don't detect any odor on this side. So overall, let's see. I'm not feeling anything greasy. This one feels like it has a little bit more stiction. You know, that kind of feel that you get when something's really clean and it drags like squeaky. I'm running out of clean fingers to try. This one doesn't give you that squeaky feel. It's more smooth and polished kind of feel to it. I think this might be the bargain. I definitely like the way this smells. The downside is that it takes just a little bit longer to evaporate off the surface. But cleaning wise, it doesn't seem to be any better or any worse. I mean, these are all my marks. Come here, use the other hand. Well, this would tell me that there is less residue left by Sapadilla than on here. Because we could almost, normally I would just apply another application of this and clean again. But like this doesn't feel like it needs to be cleaned, it just needs to be buffed out. So I'm going to put the Sapadilla over here and see what it does working over the other cleaner. I definitely feel like it's cutting through with the cloth. You hear that? Okay, so let's go over to the dry side. And what do we got? Yeah, Sapadilla did a much better job. You see there, it's evaporating. It's slower to evaporate, but it did a nice job. This could be my new degreaser cleaner since it's concentrate and I only need a little bit to get this entire surface clean so that I can prep it for a nice polish. Okay, one more challenge. This is the control unit for this induction stove. And as you see, there's grease on it. There's a bunch of streaks. It needs to be cleaned, but the challenge is, and by the way, I'm going to invert it. This time I'm going to put the Sapadilla over here. So remember the frying pan was over here, so there's going to be a little bit more concentrated grease in this area. Anyway, this is always difficult to clean up. Even with dishwashing lotion, you tend to get these streaks, and to get it really mirror-like polish takes a lot of work. So Sapadilla on this side, the other stuff over here, there's the divider, and I'll show you the results. After applying solution and wiping, we're left with this haze on both sides, but now it's dried, so we should be able to polish down. So let's see what it looks like after it's been polished. Okay, I purposely left the middle alone so you could see. Here's the polished side, and that's just polishing with the dry cloth. And nice, I can see some streaking. Here, I also see some streaking and what looks to be like maybe fat that didn't dissolve. And though there's a squeakiness to it, let's try over here. Yeah, this has less of a squeak to it. And this is the problem with this material, is that to get it mirror-like, you usually have to do more than one application. Sapadilla, the all-purpose cleaner, is just as good as the smelly cleaner, if maybe just a hair better. The really nice thing, again, comes back to the fact that it's concentrated and you only need a little to go a long way. Of course, that's also the inconvenience of it, because I could just grab this bottle and spray and start using, whereas I'm going to have to do some mixing. And that can be a downside for some people, but the results are, one, you can clean just as well, if not better, and two, you have a nice citrus odor that's given off while you're cleaning, which makes the cleaning chore just a little nicer. So the next question should be, can you do mirrors with it? Let's find out. It definitely seems to remove whatever's on the mirror, but let's see how it dries and how it polishes. Now we take a dry cloth to it. I know this isn't the best cloth. You should be using like a dishcloth. The glass is buffing up nice. I'm not seeing any streaks. Yeah, you can do mirrors with it. You may have to throw in the towel because this stuff goes a long way. And yes, it's inconvenient to mix, but if you purchase a little spray bottle, then you have the convenience of the store-bought with a much better smelling product that goes a really long way. I hope you found this video interesting or useful. If so, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you so much for watching.